lots to share with you in the Business Report today. As advocates for urban regeneration gathered for the 2025 Maurice Facey Lecture Series, held under the theme, Where the City Meets the Sea, unlocking downtown waterfront as a public space and economic asset, made possible through the life and legacy of the late founder of the Pan-Jamaica Group and his son, Stephen Facey, chairman of the C.B. Facey Foundation.
This year, we mark the centenary of his birth, 100 years since the man who shaped Pan-Jamaican's vision and values first entered this world. This annual forum convenes with some of the world's foremost experts in urban planning, and they share their perspectives and proven strategies to guide us in reimagining the development of our capital city and, by extension, our nation. Tonight, our attention focuses on a local landmark of profound importance, Kingston's waterfront, where the city meets the sea and Jamaica meets the world.
And now, also where those in attendance were introduced to a vision for a city on the threshold of transformation from this year's keynote speaker, Brent Todderan, whose work across 6 continents has twice seen him ranked among the top 100 urbanists on Earth, and whose global lessons on waterfronts are now trained on maximizing the economic and communal potential of Kingston's, starting with rule number 1.
Rule number 1, I'll give away a little bit of the ending of the book. Rule number 1, never give away your public access or ownership to the water edge. Never. And if you have given it away, get it back.
In highlighting how cities that embrace their waterfronts as shared spaces achieve greater livability and social integration, building design should be considered.
Thinness is the difference. This provides a wonderful living experience for everyone in that building if you recognize and consider the water to be an asset, which it is. They all have great views, but nobody behind them will have any view. You have given away your front row of your theater. The metaphor I use is you put on a show and everyone in the front row wore a big wide hat, and nobody behind them can see it.
After democratizing the view, other potentials then become possible at street level. However, Mr. Todderan suggests that the architecture for advance does not begin with blueprints, but rather with conversations like these.
If you don't have that conversation, it's hard to make change. Someone comes forward with a big, bold vision, and everyone says, that's different, I don't like it, and it makes me scared. And how do you have the conversation that sort of, with bluntness and candor, gets past some of that fear that comes from not knowing what to make of change? People are inherently afraid of change. That's not a judgment of personality type. It's actually a human physiological fact. Studies have shown we weigh loss twice as much as we weigh gain, which, in other words, we're more afraid of losing things than we are excited about getting things.
Which in Jamaica's context brings us to what Mr. Todderan considers to be a primary obstacle.
Your follow-through is your problem. And you got to recognize it's not a matter of whether you can afford to do those moves, it's whether you can afford to not do those moves. The absence of that action is costing you money. Anyone who understands money or value creation understands that. So more than ever, we need to make the complete, compelling business case for strategic downtown investment. It's too big to fail, to use a phrase from the United States. We can't afford for our downtowns to be weak, to be underinvested in. Luckily, I would say I haven't had to make this case over the last 3 days. Your government leaders, etc., seem to start from the starting point that we know that the downtown is a smart investment, is a necessary investment, not a cost. And frankly, the costs of not taking action are much larger than you could ever pay for. So that was good news to me.
Taking inspiration from Latin America, where the concept of temporary catalyst projects to promote renewed interest in previously muted spaces, even before construction begins, provides an interesting parallel for what may yet become possible within some of downtown's derelict buildings.
And you've got more empty space in your downtown than I've seen, I think, almost ever, but maybe in a long time. It shocked me how much of your buildings are still there but empty, and some of them are even in reasonably good repair, but they're empty. filling them with something smart, but not necessarily revenue generating, that's a catalyst. That's a catalyst. It'll get something else going. But if your business owners and even the government says, well, if they can't meet our rent rates, we're not doing it, nobody's going to meet your rent rates until you create catalysts. You get something in there, you fill it with something creative and interesting and safe that will actually help with the safety and comfort of the area, and you'll get something started. But if you're stuck in that, I need to get my rent rate or my cost of selling something, you're paralyzed. You're not going to make progress.
We'll hear more on the thought leadership of Brent Todderan emerging from the Maurice Facey Lecture Series 2025 on how urban development can enhance Jamaica's long-term growth and quality of life in your next Business Report. I'm Joel Crosskill.